Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor, and welcome to another episode of World of Crendor. We're on episode 13 now, which is crazy. It means we've been doing this for like 3 months. It's madness, I tell you. Madness! Anyway, if you got a question, you can email it into worldofcrendor@gmail.com. I read all of them. It gets pretty challenging to pick out the ones I want. So, if you do write a question, make sure it hasn't been answered. Make sure it hasn't been answered in all of the previous episodes, because I get a lot of repeat questions that are, pretty good ones, but I've answered them before, so I don't want to do that. Okay? Okay. First question. Dear Crendor, quite recently I had a problem with WoW that was bothering me, so I decided to make a post on the WoW forums. My intention was to get the topic recognized by the community, and eventually Blizzard itself, so I created a thread in the general discussion forum. However, due to the nature of the general discussion forum, my topic was constantly pushed back to pages 2 to 5, where most people often don't have enough time to read that far. Along with that, once people have responded to your thread agreeing or disagreeing, it's often a test of endurance to see if you can keep your thread alive long enough for a blue to post and address the issue. I know you often provide constructive criticism for WoW in your videos, so here are my questions. Do you think Blizzard should have a separate forum for people wanting to provide constructive criticism for WoW, and do you think the Blues should have a better system for addressing the issues people have with WoW? Your friend Shamble of Area 52. So I picked this question because it's true, the forums of WoW are really bad. By the way, if I sound stuffed up, it is because I have a cold. So I'm even more congested than I normally am. Normally, I have like allergies or like constant allergies, so like one nostril will be clogged, or like, that's only sometimes. And right now, my whole face is just like, blah. So I'm drinking this tea. It is tea made up of apple cider vinegar, honey, cayenne pepper, and lemon, and that is supposed to make me not sick anymore. Granted, I think it would make a lot of people not sick if they were to drink this, and it definitely tastes like something. Might even make some people sick from drinking it. Anyway, let's answer the question. So, the problem with the WoW forums is it's just a lot of people that like to complain, which, that's a lot of people. And a lot of times, there will be people that actually have like legitimate things to say, and they get lost in the forums because there's a bunch of complaining people, or there's people like, I'm quitting the game, or there's people like, WoW's losing subscribers, or there's people like, starting stupid threads over, like, dumb topics, like, if Thrall was in a fight with a water bottle, would the water bottle win? Like, it makes no sense. So, I'm not too sure how I would, like, go about improving the WoW forums, because maybe they would have, like, a section for, like, it would be called, like, the, legitimate complaint section, not complaint, maybe the constructive criticism section, there we go, and it would be monitored by a forum moderator, and your post would have to have like a minimum of 2 paragraphs, or it's like 3 paragraphs, or just something that requires a lot of typing, so that, and you couldn't just type like, spam type. It would have to be like actual typing. I'm dedicated. My throat is killing me, and I'm dedicated to doing this. And I think that would be a really good idea, because I agree with this person. I agree with you, Shamble of Area 52, because they probably do want constructive criticism. And I bet they themselves are like, why don't we go to the forums for some help? And they're just like, to listen to all the complaining people. Let's not do that. Let's just do what we want to do. And I bet if there was a section strictly for constructive criticism, they'd go and look at it, because that means someone with a brain, a working brain, has done thinking in that working brain to file a complaint towards an aspect of the game or show a way to improve an aspect of the game that isn't, this is stupid, why don't you do something about it? And I think that'd be cool. Next question. Hello Crendor, this question is for the WoW section in World of Crendor. Of course you know this, but when Cataclysm came out, they gave you the ability to fly in Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor. Personally, I don't like this idea and miss the regular walking mounts. My question is this, do you ever just miss the regular walking mounts? As I said, I prefer the walking ones over the flying ones, but I really want to hear your opinion. Thanks for reading, Caden. Well, they added the Azeroth flying in Cataclysm. They added flying back in Burning Crusade, so even though Azeroth didn't have flying back then, the main land where everybody was did have flying, so a lot of people are like, flying killed world PvP. Well, there's flying in Burning Crusade as well, and I think Burning Crusade had decent world PvP. It wasn't like non-existent. I can't even say it. It was there, somewhat. I don't think it was as good as like it definitely wasn't as good as old school WoW where people were just tar and mill battles, but I don't think it was super bad. The problem with Azeroth is there's 2 continents and they're huge, and on top of that you can just fly all like over them. But even then, I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is still you don't have to do you don't have to fly anywhere. Maybe if you're questing you have to fly, but even then when you're questing you're not. No, you can't fly when you're questing. So I don't even think that's your question though, because you don't bring up world PvP at all. I just kind of, that's what people usually talk about when they talk about flying being a problem. It's like, the world's so boring because people just fly everywhere. But you kind of say you miss having only regular walking mounts. And I kind of do too. Like, I think one of the fun things about the walking mounts is you could just like ride through like all the environments and experience the world. Like, you can still do that when you're flying, I guess, and like look down on all of it, but it's like, it's different when you're running through all of it on like your mount, like your horse, like I'm heading into battle. While when you're flying, you're kind of like, I'm flying, yay, I hope I get there faster. Like, I don't know, it's a different mindset almost when you're on your ground mount compared to when you're flying. So, in a way, I do miss regular walking mounts, and I hope they implement something that makes it so you have to use ground mounts somehow. And I think they are when the next expansion comes out, because I think they said they're going to be like making it so when you level you can't fly, and probably they might even do something. There could be like a zone where like it's no flying at all, like even when you're max level, no flying. That'd be fun. So I hope they do that, because I do miss the regular walking mounts. And now for the LOL question. Hi Crendor, this is a question for your LOL section of your World of Crendor. Recently, Riot announced that they will implement some changes to summoner spells, like removing Fortify, revamping Rally into Mobile Rally. It's the same as Rally, but now it doesn't stay on the ground, but the champion that activates it gives buffs to nearby allies. Buffing Cleanse can remove Exhaust Ignite. Buffing Heal, and that thing that bothers me the most, is nerf to flash range and increasing its cooldown. They say they wanted more aggressive gameplay as the reason for nerfing Flash. Does Riot want to make LoL more like Dota? Personally, I didn't like it for its aggressive gameplay, and I favor LoL over Dota because of a variety of tactics. What was purpose of intelligent characters in Dota? Anyway, their spells didn't increase by stacking intelligence. Anyway, I wanted to hear your opinion on the summoner spells, nerfs, buffs, especially Flash nerf. P.S. topic about this change was hugely downvoted on EU West where I play. Also sorry for any grammar mistakes, your fan, Arcanist. I read about all these changes and I'm actually kind of for them, because I see where they're coming from, because the problem right now with Flash, which is like the main thing everyone's talking about, is that Flash, it's literally like a thing everyone takes. Like, if you see someone and they don't take Flash, you're like, look at that idiot, they didn't take Flash. Because Flash allows you, it's like a get out of jail free card. That's really what it is. You could be trapped in a terrible situation and you're just like, bam, you're out of it. So, it's not a very balanced summoner spell, because everyone wants to take it, compared to the other ones. So what they're trying to do, by nerfing the range of Flash and increasing its cooldown, is to make you use it at like very strategic times instead of being able to like just use it as a get out of jail free card all the time. And I think that's fine. And I think it's cool that they're trying to make the other summoner spells like more like useful, because Cleanse, now being able to remove Exhaust and Ignite, is awesome, and I think Cleanse should have always been that way. That's going to be extremely powerful now. Buffing things like Rally and turning it into like a super buff for your team, that's going to be helpful for support champions. They're buffing Heal. I'd remove Fortify too, because I think it's stupid. And I think it's a lot of good changes. And they're doing one other one. What was it? I'm sure there's... Actually, I think that might be it. Oh yeah, Clairvoyance. They're nerfing Clairvoyance to make it a longer cooldown and a smaller radius, which I think they should, because you were able to spam that a lot. So I think by doing all of this, they're trying to give you more options on what you can actually choose to do in the game. And that's what it should be. It shouldn't be like, when you're new to the game, you don't want to be like, oh, what do I get to pick? You look at all the options, and you're like, wow, there's so many choices, I bet there's a lot of customization. And then you get to late game, and you're like, oh, you have to take Flash, you better take Ignite, or Exhaust. If you're a support, you better pick Clairvoyance. Like, that gets boring, and it's just very static and dull, and when you make it so all these options are available, it becomes more fun. So I think that it's a good change overall. I think it's a good change. Good change. That's where I stand. Drink some tea. Now for the first random question. Dear WoWcrendor, I notice you release a lot of content. I think that's one of your strong points over other machinima makers. Machinimists? I don't know either. Is that you're very prolific. With others, I have to wait months or years to see a new machinima, but I can check your YouTube channel and there will be something new every few days. Is there an underlying reason for that? Does machinima.com tell you to make a certain number of videos per week? And do you ever get scared that you're not going to have an idea for your next WoW video? Lemons. Well, this is a good question, because there are a lot of machinima people, a lot of older machinima people usually, that put a lot of effort into their videos, and it would take them a long time, like months, to make a video, and then it gets put out, and usually back in the day they'd get a lot of views because WoW is very popular. But now WoW is still, it's popular, but it's not like the big thing on top of the mountain. It's like there's a lot of other games going around, and WoW is just like it's still popular, but it's not like at the top of its peak. And because of that, a lot of people are like, oh, it's dead, we'll just, you know, well, what's the use of spending months on making content for this game when it's dying? And with my style, which is kind of just like, I enjoy writing, and I enjoy comedy, so I didn't really care about, like, the graphic portions. Like, I like photography, and I like film, but you know, special effects and crazy graphics, I don't know, I don't care about that. I just like using the basics of like film and photography, like the rule of thirds. I use the rule of thirds in a lot of my videos just because it's visually appealing. Like, those are the types of things I do. And I just use gameplay footage because I think it's the best way to do things. I do use WoW Model Viewer, but that's only when I need to use it. And I just like to make a lot of WoW videos because, well, number one, it's my job now, but even back in the day, before I was getting paid to do this, I made a lot of WoW videos because I thought it was fun. And, for example, I made Mancrick's Wife, the story. Like, that was just a bunch of, like, crappy paint drawings, and screenshots and terrible gameplay footage, but I liked the story that I wrote, and I thought other people would too, and it turns out most people do care about the story more than what you're seeing, as long as what you're seeing isn't like completely terrible and there's like at least effort put into it. And you can tell when something has effort put into it versus something that doesn't have effort put into it. And after a while I've been doing this almost 3 years now, and you kind of get it down to like a science, like the editing and the audio and all that, so it's not that big of a deal to me. So like, when you say, do you ever get scared you're gonna run out of ideas? Not really, because, I mean, right now, I probably have a good 20 videos I could make, like, right off the top of my head. And that's not even counting the ideas that might come into my head later. And that's, like, setting me up for months and months of content. And that's not even including Pandaria, which will provide, the ideas that will come from Pandaria. Oh, that encouraged a tea drink. It's, I know, even a lot of ideas I get from other people. I've gotten a lot of ideas from friends, from other YouTube people, from just inspirations I get from, like, seeing a video. For example, Man vs. Wild, the Orc vs. Wild. I started watching Man vs. Wild, and then I was like, you know what'd be really cool? If I parodied this show in WoW, I think that'd be really fun. And it turned out it was really cool, and people liked it a lot, and there might be a new one coming out pretty soon. You never know. And I don't know, you don't run out of ideas. It's not like I have this bucket of ideas and it's like leaking, and I'm like trying to fill up water containers, and I'm like, come on, last me a few more days, bucket of ideas, you're running out. Like, no, it's constant ideas pop in my head. One time, what was it, how to tell if your raid will fail or whatever? I thought that up a day and a half before I even made that video. I was gonna make a completely different video, and I was like, hey, you know what'd be really funny? How to tell if your raid will wipe. Made that in like a day and a half after I thought of it, and bam. Idea. So I mean, you don't just run out of ideas. And what was the other question? I'm losing my voice. I'm powering through this. Like, my vocal cords are dying here, and I'm just like, I will get a World of Crendor video to you if I have to drink this extremely weird tasting tea. Does machinima.com? No, machinima.com doesn't make you make a certain number of videos. But I do like to put out non-WoW videos now, because non-WoW videos are like my side dishes. I don't know if I've probably said this before, but I like the analogy. The WoW videos I make are like my turkey. That's the main dish. I feed you once a week. That is the turkey. And the side dishes are like my learned plays, my poorly rateds, and my Q&As, and my let's play, whatever. Those things are there to lead you up to the main feast and to like keep you entertained. And at the same time, it also increases my horizons. It expands my horizons, because you can't do WoW forever. But the problem with listen to this, okay? Before you say, are you gonna stop playing WoW? I will continue to make WoW videos until WoW gets like no views at all. Like, until I'm making a WoW video and it gets like 5,000 views or something like terrible. Granted, some people will be like, 5,000 views! Like, until it gets down to that, I will keep making WoW videos, because that is what I do. That is why the majority of you are subscribed to me, because I make WoW videos. And a lot of people make the mistake of making something, like making a show, or they get an idea for this big series and they do that, or maybe they make a Minecraft video and it gets really big and everyone subscribes to them for that, and then they just make like something completely different and they're like, hey, watch this. Like, that's not how you get subscribers. That's not how you keep people around, because people subscribe to you because they like that main thing you did. So you need to always have your main thing, and that's why I will never stop making WoW videos. Plus, I like WoW, and I've played it for so long that It's like, I don't even have to play the game anymore to make videos, because I know how the community is. And when you know how the community is just from playing it for so long, it's like second nature. So, that's that. And when that does happen, don't worry, I will not leave you hanging, because there's many other video games to play, as you can see by all the stuff I put out now. But even then, that won't happen for a very long time, if ever. We might be playing WoW forever. Isn't that a comforting thought? Yes. And the final question. Hello Crendor, this is a question for your random question section. As a big fan of the Elder Scrolls universe and with the guides you made some time ago, I just wanted to ask if you were going to play Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Your friend Oliver. Well, Oliver, it is your lucky day because I already have 2 Skyrim videos up for you to watch if you have not watched them. Bam! There's a link right now in the video. You can click it and it will take you to an entirely new window while keeping this one open so that you can watch my amazingly terrible skill level at Skyrim. I am really bad, but I provide excellent commentary. And that is all that matters. Except I have a really loud keyboard, so that's kind of annoying. But people are already used to my keyboard. I use it all the time in games, and people are like, "Grr, why is your keyboard so loud?" And I'm like, don't hurt its feelings. Don't hurt the keyboard's feelings. He has feelings too. I'm petting my keyboard right now. I am petting my keyboard. But you know what? He has feelings. His feelings are hurt by all the mean comments you say about him being loud. And you know what? That's what he has to say to you. That's what he has to say to you. Go watch my Skyrim videos. If you want to make a video response to any of the questions that I have talked about today, feel free to do that, or any other World of Crendor episode. And I will approve of your video response as long as it's not something that is like completely off topic. So, yay! Okay, or you can discuss it in the comments. Either one. Video responses are awesome though, but comments are good as well if you're afraid of making a video. So, if you got questions, you can email them into worldofcrendor@gmail.com. And yeah, my throat is going to just collapse soon, so I don't even think your throat can collapse. Okay, I'm done. Okay? Okay. See you!